Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Latifa, and in case you're wondering what today's video is all about, keep on watching because today I am going to be taking you through some of those small things that your guests are definitely going to notice in your spaces. I know we've all gone to spaces or even just had an experience of a space where you've seen things that have either impressed you or left you judging that particular space and wondering exactly what are those things that you've seen in those particular spaces. So at the end of the day, we want to expose those things so that you're able to know some of the things that you can actually avoid. Maybe you're one of the people that have been doing these particular mistakes and you're wondering maybe what to do or how to improve them, or perhaps you have no clue whatsoever on what these things are and you really want to improve your space. So these tips are exactly meant for that particular reason. These are things that are very normal, very small things sometimes that we tend to take for granted or even assume that people don't see, but they definitely see them. These are things that I've used in my own spaces and I've definitely seen that positive feedback from my own guests. So feel free to use them. Feel free to incorporate some of the ideas that I've given you to your own spaces, or even if you have your own ideas, feel free to also add on this list. And at the end of the day, if you feel these things don't apply to you, well and good, you don't have to use them. At the end of the day, it's your life, it's your home. Do you and do what makes you happy. So before we get started with the video, first of all, I would like for you to answer this question of the video. So what is that one thing that you've seen in somebody's space and you felt like you really needed it in your space? So if you'd like for me to do a virtual consultation for how to design your space, make sure to send me an email. So with no further ado, let's get started. The first thing that your guests are going to notice in your space when they come in is whether your house is tidy or messy. So this is something that sometimes, we tend to assume, especially when the house is a little bit messy, and we think or assume that, because my guest is my sister, because my guest is my friend, because my guest is so and so, they will understand the situation. Perhaps I'm a parent, perhaps I have kids and all that. But these are things that they are definitely going to notice and they will judge you for it. Just try to tidy up your space at least few hours or an hour before your guests come in. Ensure that the space is organized and looking tidy. Remember that your living room is the first impression that your guests experience when they come in your space. So the other thing that your guests are definitely going to notice in your home is the decorating pieces and of course the artwork. So you want to ensure that you have things that are incorporated in your decor style. Just try to personalize things and customize them to fit the kind of design style that you have in your space. Personalize things to suit your own style and the kind of a person you are. Give your guests something to interact with, something to really create a conversation from. Many a times actually I've had guests come in my house and ask a question really out of something that I've created, and in that way, it really speaks or tells your guests the kind of a person you are, especially if there are new people in your life. So try to bring in art pieces that really interact well with the kind of design style that you have, and make your guests really impressed and really kind of challenged. Sometimes I go to spaces and I look at the kind of art pieces they have in their spaces and I kind of feel challenged, I will admit that. And this really makes me want to do better, want to do more for my house. So try to do something that is really unique and beautiful for your living room. So the other thing that your guests are definitely going to notice in your space is of course your hardware. So maybe you're in a space that is not so modern and your hardwares are sort of old and all that, but to replace with something that is modern and good looking at the same time. So you want to ensure that you have very nice, modern, good looking hardware in your whatever space you have, whether it's your doors, whether it's your cabinetry. If maybe you have, let's say, cabinets in your kitchen and you don't really have the budget to replace with new ones, you can always just remove them and try to spray paint them just to give them a very nice fresh coat of paint. In this way, it really modernizes your cabinetry and makes your kitchen look up to date. So the other thing that your guests are definitely going to notice is the guest room. So this mostly applies for those guests who are coming to spend the night and really want to, enjoy or spend some time with you and your family, a guest room is something that you really need to take a lot of note to. So try to ensure that your guest room is clean, tidy, and very presentable. This is a great opportunity to ensure that you just update things in that particular bedroom. Ensure that you have very nice cozy duvets that your guests can use. Ensure that your bedside tables are as empty, clean towels for them to use. Make sure they have oil and all those small things and small details that sometimes you tend to ignore, so that when they want to just have their alone time, they are able to enjoy it well. The other thing that your guests are definitely going to notice is, of course, the bathroom. I know many of us, we've gone to spaces not even for so long, but we've just felt the urge to go to the bathroom, and this is a place that you want to ensure that is as clean and tidy as possible. Try to ensure that you replace that hand towel with something that is clean, even if it means replacing immediately after they've come in or just few minutes before they come in. Please do so. Don't leave a wet hand towel for them to come and use. This really feels very nasty and disgusting at the end of it all. It is not something that you want your guests to have an experience with. Make sure that you have enough storage of toilet paper. When your guests come in, let them have that nice experience away from home. Ensure that the toilet is clean enough, everything is decorated well and presentable, so that when your guests come in, they just feel like wow. And this is something that definitely your guests are going to notice, and they're going to talk about it, and definitely making the experience more happier and more fun at the end of it all. The other thing that your guests are definitely going to notice is, of course, your servingware. So you want to ensure that you have matching servingware when it comes to serving your meals. You don't want to have mismatched plates, mismatched charger plates. You don't want to have mismatched napkins and all that, or even a chipped glass. All these things put together, your guests are going to notice, and they're going to judge you for it. And because you want to leave a good and a great impression to your guests or with your guests, then try as much as you can to have matching servingware and good quality for that matter. Just try to ensure that you've given them the best experience at home, and believe you me, this is something that they're definitely going to notice, and they are going to talk about it. So whatever it is, whatever the situation it is, just try as much as you can to have good servingware for your guests, and this will definitely just enhance the experience while the guests are there, and you're definitely going to be a great entertainer when it comes to having guests around in your space. So the other thing that your guests are definitely going to notice is the kind of window treatment you have in that particular space. This is something that is very important and kind of ties everything all together. So you want to ensure that you have good curtains on your window. You may have everything put together, but if the curtains are not well or your window treatment is not good, then this is something that is definitely going to change the whole experience for your guests. So as much as you can, try to ensure that your window treatment is as top-notch as possible. It doesn't necessarily have to be something expensive, really. It can be something that is within your budget but well put. So for instance, let's say curtains. You can have curtains that are within your budget but hung right. So try to hang them with curtain rods. Also try to have them as long as possible touching the floor, and just try to have them clean. Sometimes you just go to spaces and you just find dirty curtains, or even the window is dirty itself. Nice window treatment really complements the space. That alone really gives a really good impression to your guests, and this is something that your guests are going to notice, and it's because it's on them. They're definitely going to see it, so it's not something that you can hide. Another thing that your guests are going to notice is, of course, unique scents. So this is something that sometimes I think we take it for granted, and not because we don't really want it, but because we feel sometimes it's not necessary. But trust you me, this is something that you really want to have. You don't want to miss scent in your space, especially when you have guests. And this is because there's a lot of scents or smells happening in that particular space, and you just want one particular scent dominating your space. and this is a great way to do that. So try to have a unique scent and try to ensure that that scent is something that is making the environment and your atmosphere more peaceful and more inviting and calming. Some of the questions that you're definitely going to get, especially if you've left positive impact or impression on your guest, is what kind of scent is that? Where can I get this particular kind of scent? This scent really smells nice, I like it. So when you get such comments, then you already know that you're doing a great job. Other than just making your space smell nice, scent also just elevates your mood. This is something that is already scientifically proven, and this is something that, you know, really makes your space or makes your guests tend to enjoy the space more and tend to interact with the space more compared to when you don't have scent in your space really. So the last thing that your guests are definitely going to notice is, of course, the kitchen. So this is something that I know sometimes tend to maybe get that excuse of, I have guests, I'm cooking, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and they're not going to notice. But just try to ensure that your kitchen is as tidy as possible, because this is something that your guests are definitely going to notice and are definitely going to subconsciously discuss about it with themselves or with someone or with you, whoever it is. But just try to ensure that your kitchen is as clean as possible. Put away anything that is unnecessary. And also remember, when you have guests, you tend to use a lot of dishes. So you want to ensure that you have enough space that you can put dishes, you can put your serving dish on, you can put whatever it is on the countertops without wondering or without being frustrated that you don't have enough space. Clean up anything that is not clean before having the guests, because of course at the end of it all, you're going to be left with a lot or with a pile of dishes that you'll need to clean up afterwards. So ensure that you've cleaned or gotten rid of anything that is anti-guest, and just ensure that everything is perfectly set and everything looks good. All this sounds like a set or something of that sort. If that is the case, then yes, make sure that you have that set for your guests so that they may have the best experience. If that is what it means for your guests to have a good experience, for them to have fun and for them to be entertained, then well and good. Do it. They don't really need to know the effort. Let them appreciate the effort for you. And this is a game changer, guys. So other than that, guys, that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the video. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you're new to this channel, make sure to give us some love by subscribing to the channel and become part of this family. I love having you guys around. And other than that, I'll see you on my next one. Bye.